Warning! This podcast contains profanity, uncomfortable topics, and opinions of two weird gentlemen that are not suitable for children or sensitive listeners. Also, who watches The Watchmen? Naked.
One time I went to the supermarket and I said, "Babe, don't leave me, I love you." And then she left me and I was like, "What?"
That's my Sylvester Stallone impression. You like?
It's actually pretty good. You actually do a pretty good
Thank
justice.
Thank you. I just want. I'm trying so hard to be in the voice acting business, but apparently nobody likes me. I don't care. Worst.
Well, I mean, you're doing a great job, man. If I can mimik Stallone the way you do, I do it all the time. Sure. Let me give my shitty. All
right, you go for it.
Adrian. I don't know. Like,
that was Sylvester Stallone having constipation.
Seriously.
Well, because you were like,
Adrian.
Pass me the toilet paper.
Adrian, I need toilet paper.
oh God, we're such dicks.
We really are, and I love the man. By the way, don't get me wrong. I am a big Sly Stallone fan.
Sly Stallone. Oh, I like that. That's cool.
Sly, yeah.
For now on, we should call him Sly Stallone, just like how everyone calls us Cannon Cap. Actually, no one calls us that, but I like
nobody. But hopefully, one day people will call us Cannon Cap.
Man,
did I say Cannon Cap? I said Cannon Cap. I meant Cannon
because you're
Cap.
a Street Fighter fan. I don't blame you, dude. That's a great series. Anyway, so let's see. Sylvester, would you want to do the intro for the show?
Why not? Welcome. This is Cannon Cap.
You know what? This sounds like Sylvester Stallone with Down syndrome. Like, I'm sorry. Wow. I'm just gonna go with that. I mean, that sounds a little. I mean.
Wow.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I love the guy, but the way you were mimicking right there.
Well, then, yeah, I guess because it's me. Because I don't know what I'm doing in life. So yeah, welcome everybody to Cannon Cap.
Welcome to the Cannon Cap podcast.
Yeah, aka Cancer and Capricorn podcast, aka I'm here with Digital Gore, aka with me. Shut up.
And okay, let me do this justice. Let me start over. Welcome to the Cannon Cap podcast. My name is Eric, a.k.a. Digital Gore. This is my co-host, Buzzy, a.k.a. Sink Bee Sting, lover to the girls. You know what I'm saying? He's a liver.
Hey, ladies. All feminine. Hey, ladies. You want to party with me? Get down with my 3Ds.
Well, it's 3Ds. You get that?
Yeah.
3Ds.
Yeah. That's why I never go home alone. I always have the 3 ladies with me because I'm like, they
got... And those are the bra sizes, by the way, he's talking about, like triple Ds. That's what he meant by 3D, by the way.
Titties.
I love titties.
We all do.
Speaking of titties, Eric, you are originally not from California. You are a Texan, aren't you?
I don't know what that has to do with titties, but yes, I am from Texas.
Well, because everything's bigger in Texas. That's why. Oh, man, I'm so good at this. Oh, I'm going to get hired. Anyway, so Texas, man. Why don't you give us a brief description of how you became a Texan, what it took to become a Texan, and your disappointment coming here to California?
Well, I'll say this. One does not simply become a Texan.
Ooh.
Like, you're just born with it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But as far as disappointments, there isn't really a disappointment. I mean, Texas is a lot different than California. Yeah. But, I mean, they both have their good things and they both have their bad things. As far as Texas, it's really, I don't want to be stereotypical, but it's not all cowboys and shit how most people think it is.
Darn it.
If I were to describe it to anything, it's more like King of the Hill.
I love that show.
Yeah, it gives it a perfect, summary to Texas. Every time I watch that show, I feel nostalgic. I'm like, man, I miss where I'm from.
Man, I think that's how we became better friends too. Is we love King of the Hill.
I love that show.
Do you think the stereotypes on King of the Hill are kind of accurate? I mean, I understand it was a satire of Texans, but like, how do you think it's accurate in what ways for you personally?
For sure. The area, the area codes. If you really pay attention to it, it really is based off of a little small town by Houston. Like, it's really the Mike Judge really modeled it after it. And a lot of just the things Whataburger, for example, that really is a Texas food chain. Fast food chain.
You've been there, right?
Several times.
Delicious?
Love it.
Cool.
Basically, think of it as a bigger version of the In-N-Out burger. Without the
no.
Yeah, without the Thousand Island dressing, you replace it with mustard. But it's a bigger version of that burger. It's not as small. It's just so good.
I think you just got a lot of Californians curious about it or just hating on you right now. Like, no, this is bullshit.
If you really look online, as far as fast food place, they really come down to those two. People are like, oh yeah, In-N-Out's better. And then you're like, oh no, I love Whataburger.
I gotta try Whataburger because, spoiler alert? No. Anyway, look, the thing is, obviously we live by In-N-Out Burger. And one thing about In-N-Out Burger is, like, I know there's people that obviously love it. You know, the hype is real. And there's people who just hate it. I don't know if they're being total hipsters about it. But one thing about me and In-N-Out Burger is I do not get tired of In-N-Out Burger. And the reason for that is my mom told me that when she was pregnant, every time she had to do a doctor visit, the first thing she ate before the visit, In-N-Out Burger. It came to a point where even the doctor was like, she would smell her breath and be like, let me guess, In-N-Out? And she's like, hell yeah. So I think that's kind of the reason why I never get tired of that burger. It's not my favorite burger of all time. Sorry to break it to you guys. I think I'm more of a fat burger guy. That's just the way I am. But if you were to give me something I won't get tired of, I don't think I can never get tired of In-N-Out Burger. So shout out to Mama for making sure I get used to the, In-N-Out Cali life, I guess. But that's just one thing I wanted to point out. It's a fact. So ladies, you can never go wrong with In-N-Out Burger, but I guess the weight of my heart is sometimes food.
No, for sure. And I mean, me personally, I've tried a lot of like burger places.
Hell yeah,
In-N-Out, Whataburger, Five Guys, like you name it. I've tried a lot of places, but as far as burgers, I mean, it's really hard to like pick that perfect burger, because they're all so good. Like, I mean, Fat Burger I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
In-N-Out's good, but I think it's too small for my taste. It's
that's
a small
probably
burger.
Why people always order the 3x3s or the 8x8s.
Oh, even then, like, it just feels like a chubby burger, just like a little chubby burger, a little compact burger. I mean, I want something that fills my hands. You know what I'm saying? Like something I need both hands.
You want to leave out knowing you've been satisfied.
Yeah, I want to be satisfied by this fucking burger.
Hell yeah, dude. In California, we only want satisfaction. We only want the best. So now, like, okay, so you got Texan food and all that. Obviously, your guys' barbecue is delicious.
For sure, man.
I've seen the Travel Channel, and I gotta know if it's worth what they're talking about.
The brisket, like, everything is so good. I mean, there's a lot of like mom and pops, like barbecue places, barbecue pits. There's just like you just can't mimic that taste. Like the smokiness of like it's just awesome. I can't do it justice with words.
Oh man, I know. I just like that's one thing I think is like even though I've become more claustrophobic and become more like I freak out when I'm in people's cars now, which I can talk about next time. But it's just that I think before I die in this world, I have to go to Texas at least once. And you told me that Austin, Texas, is the closest thing we'll get to California in that area or something. Like that?
If I had to describe, I would say so. I mean, it's been, I'm going to be honest, it's been years since I've even been to Austin. Like, the last time I was in Austin, I was actually, like, maybe, 10 years old. So,
and it's been a long time. A lot of Texan friends, too, right, that you still keep in touch with?
I do. I really haven't talked to any of much, but, I mean, I got them on Facebook and shit. I talk once in a while.
So, they probably know some ladies at Corpus Christi? Or
Corpus Christi.
Oh, okay. And I hear there's a lot of people that go there, a lot of ladies.
A lot of people like going over there. I mean, it's right by the beach. It's really nice. The weather's awesome. A lot of people like going to San Antonio, though.
Oh, okay. Was there a beach there too?
No, it's right in the middle of Texas. So yeah, it's not close to the beach.
So big swimming pools.
But there's a lot of shit to do. I mean, it's a big city. I mean, San Antonio Spurs, all that bull crap.
Yeah. I mean,
But going back, like, if I had to sum it all up, King of the Hill would be the best representation. Not just, like, the characters, but just, like, the areas, the places they put on. They changed the names of it. Like, Luby's, for example, is in there, which is a cafeteria place in Texas, which a lot of people love.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think if I was raised in Texas, I probably would have been Bobby Hill.
I agree.
I feel the pain that Bobby Hill goes through, all the shit that he ends up liking. I'm like, dude, I like Beanie Babies. I'm like crazy. And it's just like, and I'm pretty sure my dad, I feel like he feels like he's Hank Hill, but without the narrow urethra. So he's always like, Buzzy, keep your eye on the ball, damn it. And I'm just like, what, Dad? Keep your eyes on the ball, damn it. What? And it's just, I don't know, I always felt like that's my life if, like, my family were Texans, Because instead over here, I guess it's in Spanish, like, pinche pendejo la pelota, güey. ¿Qué?
That's actually pretty good, man. That's actually really good.
Just to let you guys know, I don't know Spanish. I know my Spanish bad words, which I love.
He knows his vulgarity, basically.
Yeah, when it comes to Spanish. But if you were to talk to me or have a full conversation with me in Spanish, I would probably understand you. I just want to be able to reply to you. So I would say I'm kind of like one of the worst Mexicans in the world because it's tough for me to communicate. Which is why at my job, I don't do any sales. I just do operations. Because, yeah, miscommunication's a bitch.
Oh, for sure.
And it's a standard. I think even in California and Texas, you got to know Spanish.
Oh, definitely in both, especially which parts you are. I mean, Southern California, there is a lot of, Latin American people. I mean, not just from Mexico, but any other Spanish-speaking countries. Especially South Texas, for sure. So, I mean, it's right next to the border. You have a lot of Spanish-speaking people.
Which means I got to move to the East Coast with all the English speakers.
Well, all the white girls.
And just, white girls,
Well, the white women at.
Yeah, where the white women at? So, yeah, I probably got to move over there and just, get used to, wearing Crocs and whatever cool stuff they do.
Wearing Crocs?
I don't know.
Is that all they wear over there?
Well, I figure because the weather's nice out there. It's really cold. I mean, over here it gets pretty hot. Texas here is hot and humid, Well, actually, you would need to wear Crocs in Texas.
Speaking of, let me
But
share
then
a
you'll
story.
build mold.
Let me share a story real quick. I went to Virginia years back, and, it was around, I want to say October. Don't quote me on this because I really don't remember. Anyways, I was like, you know what? I can handle the weather. It's probably not going to be that cold out there, whatever. And, when I first got there, it wasn't. Like, it was during the day. I was like, oh, it feels good. But we went out to eat later on at night. We went out to P.F. Chang's. And I remember I had to run out to get some money from the ATM, and it was cold as a bitch. Like, I literally
Did you have
ran.
shorts on by any chance?
No, I never really wore shorts. I was wearing jeans and a shirt, just a regular T-shirt, but I was running. I was like, come on, hurry this shit up. Like, I was freezing my nuts off. Like, it was really bad.
Sounds like my first Black Friday when I did that. I mean, I know it doesn't get cold out here. I mean, it does get cold out here in the Coachella Valley, but nothing like the East Coast.
Right. I mean, it gets cold, but nothing compared.
Yeah, like you had icy cold. I was just freezing because I was outside for 6 hours waiting for Target to open, and no one told me it was gonna open at 6 a.m. So we camped out for 6 hours, and I'm like, dude, you guys could have gave me a heads up, and it was the worst. It was cold.
I can imagine.
So yeah,
I don't think I can do
again.
it.
No, shoot.
Yeah, no,
I mean, young me, yeah, I can handle things. Now old me is just like, I don't give a damn. I'll get in my car and be like, fuck all y'all, and just leave.
It's just material things. Like, fuck it. Like, I don't care.
Well, I'm still materialistic. I mean, I need these things.
Yeah, but I mean, is it really worth my time?
Look at this palace I made. It's all materials. I need this, Eric.
My domain.
Digital gore. Do you understand the power I behold?
My kingdom.
My kingdom. So you're a Texas king. We love King of the Hill. I mean, I can't get enough of the quotes there. They have the best.
That's my purse.
Was Sylvester Stallone ever in an episode of King of the Hill?
No, not that I can think of. I don't think so.
I think he
I know
been.
Brad Pitt was.
Yeah,
but,
I think Sylvester Stallone should have played Boomhauer's brother. I think it would have been great. So you got like ding dong ding ding dong ding dong.
That would have been like a buffer version of Boomhauer.
Yeah.
That would have been badass.
Oh my god. King of the Hill, man. Like that's a great name too. Like it's one of those names that's simple,
like,
but it makes sense because Hill family and all that. And,
right, and it's so underrated, I think. Like, I mean, that show was just so awesome. Like, I mean, you can relate to it. Like, it actually, like, this is believable.
Yeah.
This shit can literally happen on a day-to-day basis. And, I mean, the characters are just hilarious as hell. I mean, you got Dale, which is a freaking...
CIA, like, oh, the government's against us.
Yeah, and there's people like that out there. There's people that I deal with on my job that are like that.
They
like,
freak out
I got
easily.
this hacked on this, and I'm like, listen, no, you don't. You're just a dummy. Like, that's basically what you are.
You're just a dummy. You're a dummy.
And I can't say it. I have to be polite, and I have to be, okay, well, let me see what I can do.
Sir, you're just fucking stupid, okay? So, there's nothing I can do for you.
I can't fix stupid.
I can't fix stupid.
Oh, who's that, Ron White? Or no,
Yeah, I think
sorry.
so. I've never listened to him, but I hear he's better than all the rest of the get her done type.
He's actually pretty funny. I saw one of his stand-up.
Larry the Cable Guy?
No,
or
not Larry.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the same person, Ron.
Yeah, Ron. I hear he's got his shit right. He knows his shit. So I have a note here, and we forgot to mention it on the last episode. We never mentioned how we got our name, Cancer and Capricorn. So for those wondering, it kind of relates. Obviously, relates to horoscopes. The funny thing about this is, like, after high school, Digital Gore and I would talk about we would just talk about weird shit all the time like we do
Yeah.
now. And most of the stuff we talked about was always reminiscing about, you know, things that happen, or we think like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to do this and that? And back then, like, we were kind of, I wouldn't say we were desperate, but we were women crazy. Like, you know, we thought of a lot of stuff, but it's like, wouldn't it be nice to have a girl?
This is basically the way I would put it.
Okay,
think
so,
of Ikichi Onizuka in GTO. That's basically the way we were.
Yeah, so shout out to the anime fans who get that.
Exactly. The way this came up, like, I mean, obviously those are zodiac symbols. So Buzzy's a Cancer. I am a Capricorn. So we were trying to make up a story. It was more kind of like a movie, like, you know, about
like, wouldn't it be funny if we liked the same girl or something like that?
Right.
That's what
like these two characters, they kind of fall for the same girl, but at the same time, like, it kind of fall like this is.
We were supposed to be like cool, like crazy people. So like we were both killers or serial killers. We always killed anyone that didn't get. So I guess
they didn't follow that zodiac pattern.
Yeah, so it's like, obviously, I think in the books we did a research where Cancer and Capricorn would get along, but anyone who didn't get along with us were like, they're dead.
Like Libra or
You're
like
dead
any
to
other
me.
sign. Like, you know, basically, if it didn't fall under the compatibility,
dead.
they're done.
And then there's one where I don't remember what sign it was, but it's supposed to be like, you meet this girl, she's great, and I don't know if we made it so that she was compatible with Capricorn, but she wasn't compatible with Cancer,
And
or she was somebody who wasn't compatible with both of us, but you fell in love with her. You get along, and then it's supposed to be that like the whole horoscope got disapproved,
Right.
Because in the end you were like, this is bullshit, man. Like, this is stupid. There's Chinese zodiac and there's personality and all this. Is like, man, it's just love is love. You can't judge that. And I'm like the crazy killer that got mad because my bro left me for a hoe, and I was just like, you don't leave me, you don't leave me.
So basically, the plot twist was that he ends up going, like, you know, crazy because he disapproves. This does not follow what we've been doing, and it's basically a showdown
Kind of
between me and him.
like 3,000 Miles of Graceland, where like they were all
I
Elvis freaks,
love that
right?
movie.
And then in the end, wasn't the bad guy trying to get the other Elvis person and his girlfriend and his kid and try to kill him
basically,
like that,
right. Basically, what it was on that movie
like,
was
you don't
that,
leave the clan type of thing, right?
Right. They were both partners. They did a heist in a casino, and during the movie, and I don't know if you caught this, but you know they were both technically half brothers.
Yeah,
They were
something
both
like that.
Elvis's offsprings.
Okay.
Apparently. And but he was never recognized. The one Kevin Costner's character was never recognized by Elvis, like to be his legitimate son. So during the end, I don't know if you remember that scene where he's in a showdown against all the cops, and they start playing Elvis's song, and he's all like, "Do you recognize me? Because I recognize you." And then he takes out his assault rifle and he starts shooting everywhere. And it's actually a great movie. I actually want to rewatch it right now.
It's a classic. I remember you showed me that because I think it was one of those that I saw as a kid but don't remember shit or never really cared about it. But then, of course, aged, I got the plot and I was like, this is fantastic. And I think this was the whole idea of Cancer and Capricorn was probably before that idea too, I want to say. Because in the end, it's like Cancer goes after Capricorn and his love. And like it became like you and your girl versus me type of thing now.
Right.
So it's like I'm always like, no, you will never leave me. You know, trying to kill you, and then you managed to like both of you guys managed to kill me. And my last words like, you are my brother. And then it's just like, Kakarot.
Think of 3,000 Miles to Graceland and the Cable Guy.
Yeah, because he was crazy. It's like, I'm your friend or whatever he says.
It's like, are you really my buddy? Yeah, sure thing, pal.
And he just has that weird smile.
Yeah.
Oh, it creeps me out.
Freaking Jim Carrey is a master to his craft.
Oh my god. But yeah, that's how Cancer and Capricorn came up to be. And we're like, dude, why don't we just do
it?
Yeah.
And to be honest, nothing came out of that. We made up the story and that was it.
That was it. I mean, we were trying to see if we can do anything with it. It was just one of those ideas that we had. And maybe in the future we'll try to see if we can implement that still. But we always thought it would be cool. Like, you know, we got a Zodiac Killer, but it's one thing where they take literal Zodiac killers.
Right.
You know, and this was just coming from two guys who were like desperate, bored, and all this good stuff. Now,
Yeah,
not so much.
misguided teenagers, not really finding love,
Yeah.
and
I mean, I'm still the same loser, but you know, the thing is, I'm not gonna go around like, yeah, I'm crazy, you know. But
you know, he's got his limits, folks.
yeah, obviously, but I still like girls, so that's good. God, this is ridiculous. Okay. So we talked about our name. We know you're from Texas, King of the Hill. You know what? Since we're talking about Sylvester Stallone, because he is such a good fighter. Or at least I like to assume he's a good fighter. He plays
Well,
a good fighter.
He was I mean, his brother's a boxer. Was a boxer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Frank Stallone. He was a boxer.
That's a badass name too,
yeah.
Frank Stallone. Like, dude, if that doesn't get you pussy, then I don't know.
Yeah, so he was a boxer. I know Sylvester Stallone's got his own promotion too. I mean, that's basically his bread and butter. That's his baby. That's what made him famous.
Damn.
Like, from what I know was that he was trying to sell, the script to Rocky, and a lot of people rejected him. But then a lot of people did want to take it, but they didn't want to cast him as the character. They wanted to cast like a well-known name or something like that.
Okay.
His condition was, no, I have to be Rocky. Like, I have to play this character. This is me. And so basically, he finally got it done. I mean, he basically, there was times where he lived like, he was homeless for a while. Like,
Damn,
I mean,
that's
he was just
hardcore.
that committed to the character. So then he gets it all done, and he actually did some little jobs to get money in the meantime. And I don't know, I think you remember this. There was this one, kind of like a softcore porn that he was in.
Oh my god!
But
I remember
that
you
was
showing me that
after.
clip. Yeah,
That was before he did Rocky, but they redistributed afterwards when they learned of him and his character. So they called it the Italian Stallion.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did anyone order?
And he only got paid like $100 for that.
You order the pepperoni and sausage.
And basically, from what I read, that he was saying was it's either doing that or robbing somebody, because he was just
God
that
dang.
broke. That was the words from Sly himself.
Dude, I mean, and one thing too is like Sylvester Stallone and I have in common is we have the same birthdays. So yeah, I've thought about robbing banks as well.
He said a person, not a
And
bank, but
they
sure.
don't call me the Italian Stallion, but they call me the Beast Stinker, if you know what I mean, ladies. Well, no, I shouldn't say that because people are like, "Well, you hung like a bee," but I'm gonna be like, "Fuck you, bitch." Anyway, but yeah,
I sting like a
I
bee.
sting like a bee, and I'll sting your eye, bitch. Anyway, but
Muhammad Ali right here, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
yeah, and see, boxing related. I like our subjects; they're relatable. So Rocky, man, like that's the movie that set him to what he is today.
Yeah, basically.
And I remember, did I get you into Rocky?
No, man, I was a big Rocky fan since I lived in Texas.
Okay, so I just remember like it was like, dude, let's watch Rocky, and you're like, cool. And I bought the DVDs, and it's just amazing like how much like boxing's not like that, obviously, and it still isn't like anything close to it. But it's just he made boxing fun, and obviously he had a great character, and
He did.
He just which brings me to one thing before I talk about the movies because they're so freaking good. Is do you remember your first fight?
I do, man. Like, I was a little kid, actually. It was more, I was trying to defend myself, because I was bullied as a kid. When I was in first grade, I want to say,
Before you start, just know that Eric, or a.k.a. Digital Gore, or a.k.a. Capricorn, he is a big, tall man. And how tall are you?
I'm a little bit above average. I'm 6'1". That's my height.
Jesus Christ, I'm only 5'6". So one thing you guys got to know is like, you got to think of How I Met Your Mother. There's Ted, and then there's I always think
Marshall.
Yeah, Marshall. He's like Marshall. You don't fuck with Marshall. That guy's kind-hearted, but he's a big dude, and he will mess you up. So that's how I like to think of you. Like like I don't know why would anybody want to fight you.
Well, I mean, I was a kid. Back then I wasn't as big, obviously. So basically, I mean, and like you said, I'm a kind person. Like and most people mistake kindness for weakness.
Yeah.
And there's a difference. So basically, I was getting picked on, and I believe it was first grade, but it was like 2 or 3 kids. I don't even remember. But yeah, man, I remember. I was trying not to fight. I did not want to fight.
Was this kid like a fat kid?
What
type of
they
bully
were
was he?
average.
Well, tell me the fight that you had to actually like fight. I know
Fight.
this bully. I want to know the first.
Okay, the actual fight. Okay,
who won?
I was in 3rd grade.
Ooh,
This
third
was a fat kid. But just
Yeah,
way
looked like
thicker.
Eric Carmen was like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, and I don't even know how this happened. I remember it was during recess. We were outside. There was a group of kids watching, and I was fucking him up, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I thought this kid was going to bust me up, but no, it was just all intimidation. He was all talk.
punches or what?
Yeah, I mean, I was just punching him. And
Did you knock him cold-blooded?
No, I didn't knock him out. He basically just gave up and said, stop.
Oh, so he cowered like a little bitch.
Yeah, and after that, I mean, I didn't really get picked on. Like, it just kind of went to push the
alpha
shove.
male that time, right there.
Yeah, like I just kept, punching him. I didn't throw any kicks or anything like that because, I mean, I didn't really know how to fight. I was just, trying to mimic fight. Like I was mimicking people I've seen on TV. Like I was mimicking Stallone, for example. I was mimicking just moves that I've seen. Yeah.
Well, I watched Spider-Man, so I wonder what I got. Like, I would have lost. It was like, spider web, spider kick, you know, and the celestial arrow. And well, like, okay.
Mimic Goku. Kame.
Yeah, and he's like, this kid's weird. Let's just get the fuck away from him.
Hey, you know what? That might work. Cause
His
they'll
name
probably
is
get
Digital
freaked out.
Gore. He's so weird. Fucking loser. But, like, yeah, so you won your first fight, obviously. Good for you, man. And obviously, you know, you had a tough time growing up, but good to know that you didn't lose like in Rocky. Spoiler alert. And
this happened in 1970 something. I again, to reiterate, I don't think the spoiler alert
I
applies
didn't
anymore.
lose. I won with her. I won.
And speaking of, I don't know if you heard, they're making a spin-off with Apollo Son.
well, actually, I was gonna point that out later on because I
Oh,
have
I'm
it
sorry.
here. According here, 2015 movie's called Creed.
Right.
That
And
I want to get to know more.
I don't know if you know, but I am a big Apollo Creed fan. I love Apollo Creed.
Rock, let me tell you something. Oh man, he's great, dude. He's great. Like I wish.
Carl Weathers, love that dude.
Oh man, he's the best. So like, and then like the 5 Rocky movies. Did I ever tell you the time how I won my first fight?
No.
Really?
No, let's
Oh,
hear
this
it.
is a treat for everybody. All right, so everyone listen up. So this is how it went. So I remember it was. I actually have 2 first fights: a digital fight and a real fight.
Wait. Hold the phone. How is this a digital
Okay,
fight? Was it like a verbal
okay,
thing?
okay.
Or what was it over the phone? I'm gonna mess. Like,
no.
what is
Oh,
this?
no, this is better. Watch. Okay, first I'm gonna talk about the real fight. And then we'll go to
Okay.
digital fight because now I think we live in an era where it's gonna be either
Is it
real
a video
or
game?
virtual. So yeah, we'll get there. But okay, so my first physical fight was, I want to say 2nd or 3rd grade as well, or maybe even 5th grade. I remember we were a little bit
dang.
older, but we were short kids. So I went to, you know, we're from the Coachella Valley. I am obviously. You're from Texas, but I don't know if you know this place in the Coachella Valley that's Thermal.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
know, it's a small desert town, but we had a school out there that I went to because my mom taught out there. So I went to that elementary school, and this guy and I, we were pretty much friends. You know, he's a bilingual dude, and I'm trying to remember what led to us to have such conflict with him. But it came to a point where we said like it was like the old classic like, oh, I'll meet you at the blah blah blah, and we're gonna fight, you know. And I'm like, you know, and usually I would like
Meet me after the
I
bell.
would have easy anxiety as a kid, but this time, I don't know. I think I was so fierce. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. I'm going to mess you up, mister. And so we met up. I was like right after lunch. We ate our like, delicious lunch because it was on a Friday too because we get those like shave ice, which was the best fucking lunch you could ever have. So anyway,
Dang, going
besides
really
that,
into
I'm
detail
just
what he
saying
had.
I miss elementary school food. Like they actually had good
that
food back
shitty
then.
food, but okay.
Now it's like garbage. But we'll get into that next
Yeah.
time about food because there's so many things I want to talk about. But so we meet, right? It's about to go down. We have our homies, they're kind of circled up, So there's a like mini fight club thing we got going on. We didn't take off our shirts because we were chubby. So the funny thing was, and this is how it happened. So I forgot his name. I'm gonna call him E because I don't remember his name, but I know it started with the E, I think. So I go up to this guy and I said, "All right, you sure you want to do this, man? Because after this, we're not gonna be friends. We're gonna fight." So I stuck my right hand out, give him a handshake like, "This is your last chance. You want to do this?" The guy stares at me. And he breaks down crying. And he's like, "I don't want to fight, man. I don't want to fight." So we shook each other in his hand, like, hugging, like, "No, it's cool, man. Let's be friends." And I forgot what it was, but I remember, like, we were so stupid. We built this hype up, and everyone's like, "Oh, yeah, fight after lunch." And then, like, I considered a win because I made the first move by sticking my hand up. It was either... you're gonna save your life by being my friend, or you're gonna die. So I won because
sure that's a win, but so it never came to blows though. No one threw a punch.
No. This is why I want to bring the digital fight because the digital fight was super violent.
Okay, let's hear this. Let's hear this.
Okay, so the other one is it was the best fight ever. Like I always think about it, and
it was two video game
here's
characters.
the thing.
For
I
sure.
know we mentioned this on our last episode about Pokemon, and the reason why I want to bring it up again because
I know what
I'm
it is
talking
now.
about
Now I know what it is. Oh
so
my
Eric
god!
knows who it is, but the funny thing is, I kind of feel like I scarred his childhood or something, but I can't help it that I'm just really that good and strategic for my age. But obviously, when you're a young Pokemon master, you're gonna meet a lot of rivals on the playground, man. So here I am, I'm rocking my Venusaur. I got my Mewtwo. I got my.
The point is, he had some badass Pokemon.
I had well-developed Pokemon. Yeah. I had a great set of elemental ranges, so that no matter what, someone's going to counter somebody. And I had made sure that all my moves. I was never defensive. I was always offensive.
You were always on the attack.
I made sure that we had everything that was ready, and of course, I always had different elements for each Pokemon. So what happened was, this was when the good old days with the Game Boy Link Up days. Shit. I had the green Link Up cable, and we never really had shit with each other until I beat him, and this is where like shit went downhill for him. So I'm like Jay, and so Jay was like, because I think he was the only one that actually had the Pokemon game, because unfortunately in school, not a lot of people had Game Boys, but we always had fun. But they did have Game Boys. There was a few of them that had Pokemon, and obviously this guy had a Pokemon. I had a great set of Pokemon, and my roster was solid. So it came to a point where he wanted to challenge me, and I'm like, oh, I'm sure, I thought it was going to be fun. But of course, once we linked up the cables, I turned my cap backwards because it was on. So here I am, and here's the thing too, his main strong Pokemon was Charizard. Obviously, fire beats grass, and I had a Venusaur. So it came to a point where we're fighting and all that, and not only was my Pokemon whooping some butt, but it was all like through Venusaur. So he had a chance to defeat my Venusaur with his Charizard, but my Venusaur, dude, his pussy game was strong because he just whooped the shit out of his Charizard. I was probably maybe like 10 levels ahead of him, but the thing was, he still had a great chance because it's 5.
The elemental part
and no matter what, like I remember maybe I only lost 2 Pokemon in the process, but I was kicking major ass, and I remember I beat him, and I was like, oh, good game, whatever. And I think ever since that day, you can tell deep down he died inside that day. He died so hard that he was like, no, I'm going to practice. So he did, but of course I played the game as well. So my Pokemon got to level up higher, so the next play,
you still whooped that ass.
Oh, dude, it was rampage, dude. Like, if Pokemon was live, it'd be a bloodshed. Like, I remember just beating him, and it's funny because I didn't see him till, like, years later. I know, I guess I knew him or remember what happened throughout the way, and I heard, like, some negative things, of what he did, not who he is, but I guess of, whatever. And the last time I saw him, I think he was working at a fast food place or something, thinking, like, and I don't know if I was driving my truck or my car at the time, but I was so happy because I was just like, it was one of those days where, like, you think to yourself, like, man, like, I wish my life was better and all that. But you go through the drive-thru, and you see that dude there, and I was like, I don't think that person recognized me, and I was sure it was him. So here I am with, one hand on the steering wheel as I'm driving away. I'm just like, it feels good to be a gangster. Because I feel like...
And real quick, just to add on to that, and you probably did, like, break a little bit of his soul, because I'm not going to mention names or anything, but there was this one person I used to date back in high school, and he started to date her. And, we still kept in contact. So anyways, she was letting me know that, because we were talking about Pokemon, and she's like... he's the game, and you know how you can name your rival? Yeah. Well, basically, I was the rival, because she, put my name as the rival, and he was probably like, oh, that motherfucker, I'm gonna beat him too.
Oh my god.
Maybe to the point where Buzzy beat him, like, kind of a little bit of nostalgia, but it's just so funny because this is years later. Buzzy you probably faced him like in elementary school when you did this, maybe.
What do you mean, like
the battle you first had with him?
Oh yeah, it was elementary school.
Well, this is high school already.
That's the worst part. Yeah. Oh my god.
And don't get me wrong, I mean, I still played Pokemon.
No, but I'm just saying, like, the fact that here in high school, you want to keep your rival or, like, your secrets to yourself, but for him to actually put your name on it, like, that's something I think a third grader would do. Like, I hate Kyle, he's a piece of shit. But, like,
I'm gonna fill up.
Yeah, like, but for someone to hate you, like, oh my god, that's quite an achievement, bro. I mean,
Hey, if you have haters, you're doing something right.
That's true. Haters gonna hate and players gonna play.
They're just spending time talking shit about you where they have... I mean, I don't care. I have better things to do.
Wait, does that mean I'm a hater because I'm always talking shit on the podcast?
Well, I mean, talking shit about a specific person.
No, but like when I was a Pokemon master.
Well, there you go. You're fine.
Good. Yeah. I mean, man, but yeah, that was my first digital fight, and it was the best. I never forget. I mean, I have plenty of digital fights on the Xbox One and PC, but I never forget the first fight because that's where I knew, like, I was doing my shit right, you know?
It was a conquest.
I mean, everyone has their losing time. Like, maybe he's doing better than me. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm in my...
You know, it's been a while since since Buzzy's seen or I've even heard of him. So, I mean, I hope the man's doing well. I mean,
like, the only thing I can say is, like, whoever you are in the past,
doesn't matter.
You're doing well.
Has no bearing on today.
Yeah, but it's just funny, like, when you're a kid, it's a whole new world, you know? It's a whole different level, and... Now that you're an adult, you're like, there's really no time to hate people. There's really no time.
No, for sure.
So that's why it's like, you know, we talk about some of these stories and we look back and we're like, what the fuck were we doing? But eventually it led us to do what we want to do and hopefully maybe do better, even surpass all those things. So
for sure.
You know, we learn from our mistakes, and I hope that everyone implements that. You know, learn from your mistakes and never be afraid to pioneer. That's all I gotta say to you. So. Obviously, Sylvester Stallone, one of the best pioneers of all time.
I mean, for sure. I mean, just how we were saying, like, you know, he was at one time homeless. I mean, look at the man now. I mean, what he did has no bearing on him today because, you know, he's a success. He's a big success. If anyone, if I were to meet anybody, and there's a lot of celebrities, I mean, for sure, I'd be starstruck with him.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Sylvester Stallone, like, you know, and his rival too was Arnold for the longest time, wasn't it? And look at them now; they're freaking buddies. I mean, that's pretty cool. When like
I remember in the movie Twins, there was a poster of Rambo and Stallone.
Yeah.
And Arnold walks up to it. He flexes next to it, grabs his bicep, and he's like,
Really?
Yeah, he was like, well, I'm bigger still, bro.
Holy
like,
shit.
whatever.
So they had some mad rivalry back then.
Yeah, they had some rivalry, but I mean, hey, that's always good. You know, it makes each of them better.
Well, the funny thing, too, is, like, have you seen The Last Action Hero?
I haven't seen that one, actually.
It's the best, like, Arnold or like meta movie ever, because the whole inside joke is the kid gets a movie ticket, he goes into Arnold's world, and you know, it's not really Arnold, it's really a character who happens to be Arnold, and it's the best because he goes to the real world or whatever, or the kid's in his world. So Blockbuster Video, if you guys remember that, they go to like something like that, a video store, and there's a Terminator poster, right? You know, the big silhouette one where it's just Arnold and the bottom's like Terminator. Well, the funny thing is, in that world, the Terminator is played by Sylvester Stallone. And the kid goes up and is like, that's supposed to be you right there. That's not, you know, and Arnold's just like, what are you talking about? He's the greatest movie star of a generation. Like, it's the funniest thing ever because, like, even he, you know, even they know how to, like, joke around.
Right, and they give props to each other.
Like, how cool would it be to see Sylvester Stallone in Terminator, you know? Just like,
I'll be back.
How weird would it have been? Like, I mean, they both accents, but I mean, they're awesome though.
I still have used the baby.
You know, it's like, oh man, like I thought it'd be. Like I just think like just imagine we live in an alternate dimension where all the Sylvester Stallones.
Imagine if it was back, yeah.
And Arnold was.
Can you really see Arnold Schwarzenegger's Rocky?
If I could learn to. What was that? The Rocky 4 is like, if I can learn to forgive,
if I can change,
to forgive too.
No, if I can change, and you can change, and everyone can change.
Everyone can change, go Hagen. And then even like, what was it, Kindergarten Cop? The best movie ever.
Oh, God.
Stop it!
It was like,
shut up!
Oh, I love those movies, man. It's just
God, dude. My Sylvester impression is like dying on me.
Well,
like,
actually, both are pretty good. Like, you know, you're Rocky and you're Arnold.
No, well, it used to be smoother than now. It's like I'm struggling, dude. Like I remember it used to be you know, like smaller tones, and it's like, you know, it is. Or it was like because he says, "It is not a tumor," so it's like Sylvester Stallone's like,
"It is not a tumor. It's not a tumor."
Yeah, okay, there. But yeah, I just think it would be cool, like, for them to switch around like that. I think it'd be
it would be
a fun
interesting
world.
for sure. I mean, I would definitely love to see that, like a parody movie or something. Like, I mean, obviously not for something that's like being taken seriously, fun for laughs for sure.
If I had won the lottery, I'm probably gonna go up to both of those guys and be like, hey, listen, I know you're in the Expendables game, but I think we should do a YouTube video where you guys play each other's parts, and I think they would be down. You know, they're at that point in their lives, they're like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
Rocky, man. Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Rocky Balboa, and then I guess we're gonna have the new movie coming soon, Creed,
which is awesome. I'm glad they're doing that because I mean,
what is your favorite Rocky movie?
Honestly, it's hard to pick. I like them all for different reasons, but I mean, if I really had to pick, I really like the first one for sure, but I really like the last one too, Rocky Balboa. it just seems so heart-touching. Like, it really feels like that's something that can happen to a former champion. Like, you know, I mean, most people aren't remembered for their past achievements. They're remembered for right now.
Yeah.
And as you can see, I mean, he wasn't living in a mansion or anything like that. I mean, he defended the world title who knows how many times. He was just like your regular Joe, had his own little small business. And then just because of the nostalgia, people were like, how would he fare against the current champion? How would he do? I mean, obviously he's old, but if he was in his prime, like, how would this guy beat? Like, when,
like they did a great transition of what it is to be now. Because
Yeah.
a lot of movies that do continuation, not like roots, but like like what happens.
Yeah,
later
and
on
I
through the
love
years.
that, you know?
Most of the movies don't do so well, but
Yeah.
this one did a
This
great
one
job
did,
adapting to our current.
Oh, for sure. I loved it. Like, you know, it seemed the most realistic Rocky to me.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's something that I could see happening. Because, I mean, let's be honest, if someone of his age who was a professional, like, champion, like, you know, back in his day, like the current, you know, heavyweight champion of the world, they probably wouldn't win. Let's be realistic. They're not as young. They're not as strong. They haven't been training for so long. I mean, for sure they wouldn't win. But, I mean, just because he has that heart of a champion, that mentality, I mean, he gave him a fight. He didn't win, but he gave him a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what, like, the same we can say about, like, UFC fighters and any boxers. Like, we want them to, like, give them all they got.
Yeah, and we love
give
those
it 100%
stories.
effort. You know, if you're gonna go down swinging. Don't go down trying to defend yourself. Like, go 100%
Go swing for the
in.
fences. Like, you know, this is do or die. And I love
There
that.
you
I
go.
love underdog stories. I love where, like, you know, the challenger rises to the occasion. Like, it's really awesome. And what I really like about that they're doing this kind of like the Creed movie, I kind of like it. I don't like.
Have you seen? Like, is there a trailer out or something?
No, it's still there's no trailers yet. Or if there is, I haven't seen it.
Okay.
But basically, from what I love about it is because they kind of fell off. They haven't mentioned Creed anymore. Like, after he passed away, they just kind of, like, you know, just stopped talking about him. And I kind of didn't like that because, you know, I think he was a big part of Rocky's life.
Hell yeah, dude. He was one of the best characters
Yeah,
ever. Dude.
exactly. And, you know, I mean, and Rocky was...
Let me tell you something.
he was still being trained by his trainer, you know, especially Rocky Balboa, the same dude that trained Apollo Creed and then trained Rocky for Mr. T, and for the Russian, Ivan Drago, came back in Rocky Balboa to help him out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
And I was like, man, like, I wish they would just reference Apollo Creed once in a while, you know? But they didn't. So I love they're doing this. I love that Sylvester Stallone is going to be the trainer for Apollo's grandson, and also the same dude that trained his granddad, Apollo Creed.
Holy crap, that's awesome.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's really cool. I think from what I read, he seeks him out, and he's like, listen, man, like, I want to be trained by you. I know you had, like, you know, this camaraderie with my granddad. And I think it's awesome. I can't wait to see it.
That actually is pretty exciting. I really hope we see a trailer soon, because it says here on Wikipedia 2015. So I really hope we get to see a clip soon. And
if it's going to be released in this year, I mean, for sure it already has to be done. Like, you know, they have to be filmed.
No, I mean,
already.
like, I just want to see the trailer already. I want to see how it's going to be, because, like, I never know, things could be pushed back because post-production does take a while.
Oh, for sure.
But I think that's pretty exciting. I really hope to see that soon. For the Rocky movies, because, like, I'm trying to think, like, I remember Mick, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Like, I mean, that was so inspirational too. Especially they kind of, like, for the fourth movie, they fell off talking about him. Like, they didn't mention him at all.
Okay. That's what the thing too was. I wanted to bring up was, like, it's tough for me to pick because I know there was, you know, and spoiler alerts, but
like
you have plenty of
it
time to
doesn't
see.
matter.
You have plenty of time to see it, so don't be bitching at me. Is you know, like, we know that Apollo Creed dies from, I think it was the fourth.
It's the fourth movie. He
But
dies
then
against the Russian.
What about Mick? Doesn't he?
Mick, he died too. He died in the third one.
Third one, see,
And that was against Mr. T.
and that's why it's a tough one, because, like,
Or should I say Clubber Lang?
Rocky 1, you can never go wrong. It's like
It's the
Coca-Cola.
original, yeah.
It's the original. Then you got, like, Rocky 3, which Mr. T was pretty fun, so it's kind of like maybe Dr. Pepper. But the problem is, like, that hint of, or, like, maybe Rocky 4 is like Dr. Pepper, where
The Russian.
or no, Rocky 3 is probably Dr. Pepper, while Rocky 4, because you don't have Mick, but you do have Apollo there, but he dies. But the
Yeah, that was
Russian one
pretty
is
hard.
so good, and the soundtrack when he's training.
Oh, for sure. I love
Hearts
that soundtrack.
on fire! Like, I love that.
The whole music to that movie is pretty awesome.
And the thing too was, like, so that's kind of like Sprite, where it's like, it's just as good, but, like, man, like, I wish I don't know. Like it's kind of, you know, fuck soda. The point isn't just that good.
And something that I want to add, especially to the 5th movie, Rocky 5,
with like
where he was fighting Tommy Gunn.
Yeah.
What I liked about it, and a lot of people I know didn't really like that movie just because it wasn't really like a fight. It was a street fight, basically the ending fight. But what I liked about it was that he was remembering Mick. He was remembering all the times that he trained with him. It was actually a lot of scenes that actually felt kind of heartbreaking because, you know, they kind of make you feel like watery eyed.
Yeah, because it's like the down blow.
It's kind of like, well, you know, you gotta go get him, bum. Like, you know, you're an Italian bulldozer, run over him. Like, you know, it was just like, dang.
Nick.
Like, it just like, even right now I'm getting like goosebumps because it's like, it's really powerful words. I don't know. I just love those movies.
Well, you want to know something interesting about that 5th movie is like, with the budget was the most highest budget for all the movies. Rocky was the most at 42 million. So I keep thinking like, was it because like wasn't that when he was like showing the whole like rich house scene and he had that robot? I think
that's Rocky 4.
When he had the robot come in, it's like, I'm here to serve you.
Rocky 5 is where they lost all that. They went back to the ghetto of Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's what it was. Well, for being in the ghetto, it cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
The first Rocky was only 1.8 million, so you know that was a big hit. I mean, for a guy who only had that budget for a movie that like had a lot of
it just shows that, like, you know, he was persistent. Like, imagine just anybody that wrote that amazing script and they just like decided to lay down and not give us this amazing story. I mean, how that this really changes, like, you know, film, like the history of film, because it's like these are big movies. Like, imagine not growing up ever hearing of Rocky Balboa.
It's just so Rocky, man, he's the man, you know.
He's even introduced, Sylvester Stallone has been introduced to the Boxing Hall of Fame because of this story.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit, man. You know you're doing something right when you're doing, you know, when you're in the Hall of Fame for something you did that it really shows the inspiration of what it means to be a boxer and the downfall, the uphill, the achievements, and just everything.
It's just
that a boxer can go through.
Seriously, and I know people have asked him, you know, especially with the rise of MMA, if there could be like an MMA version of Rocky. And he said that he wouldn't mind, but at the same time that he doesn't want to fuck with this, because this is his, like, you know, this legacy, is his baby. This is his legacy.
What do you mean? Is he going to do, like...
No, because people have, like, you know, approach him, like, you know, how awesome would it be having of MMA? Like, you know...
I wonder if it's going to be an actor who's going to sound just like him, fighting like...
he said, John Jones, like, I'm going to get you John Jones, you old piece of shit. I'm going to fuck you up. You know?
And
Celestial arrow.
But, God, that sounds like the Hulk thing.
That was the Bros technique, by the way. Yeah. And speaking of Hulk Hogan, he was in the 3rd movie. He was Thunderlips.
Yeah, he was. God, what kind of name is Thunderlips? Jesus Christ.
Like, Thunderlips is here. In the flesh, baby. That's how he said it.
Imagine having that name and the chick, like, they're like, what do they call you, Thunderlips?
I think of Rob Zombie
be cracking,
when I hear Thunderlips of that song, Thunder Kiss. Thunder Kiss, that's what it's called. But I don't know why I thought of that. But
that's crazy. I can't believe he was in that. Rewatch this because, like,
it's
that's
awesome.
The thing. You're great at remembering all the movies. I can't remember shit. I remember the soundtrack.
I remember this soundtrack just because I love these movies. But back going to what Sylvester was saying was like he would love to do it. But at the same time, he doesn't want to fuck up Rocky's
didn't they already do it? It was called The Fighter, wasn't it?
No, I wouldn't say it's... I wouldn't...
Or was it still boxing?
The Fighter was boxing.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of...
There's one that was MMA.
Yeah, you're thinking...
And it's not Never Back Down, even though it's a big movie.
It's a good movie, but you're thinking of... I know the movie you're thinking. I just can't remember.
All right. But yeah, that exists. All right. Well, dude, like, that was great. I mean, this is just all Rocky, man. Like, if you're not a fan... Sylvester Stallone.
Get the fuck out of here.
Well, I mean, at least watch Rocky because it's never too late to watch a classic. There's a lot of classic movies that maybe I still haven't seen.
Oh, for sure, me too.
Or, you know, but that's the thing is that you cannot go wrong with Rocky. Like, if you have money, go buy the Blu-rays. You won't regret it, especially if it's got Rocky 6 in it. That's even a
Rocky Balboa. Yeah,
that's even a better deal. Because you can't.
And
go
you
wrong
can.
with it.
I mean, I have a collection on Blu-ray, and it included Rocky Balboa. And it's actually pretty affordable.
And
you could probably buy it for less than $40.
Oh yeah, and Sylvester Stallone, he's awesome, you know. And then of course he's got Expendables. I mean, I know the movies kind of feel awkward with the current ways that we see movies now, or action movies, but you can't go wrong with like the cast and having. It's just for fun, you know. You watch it to have fun.
And one thing
and
that
you
I
got
love,
all these badasses together. Ow, my finger.
One thing that I love about the Expendables, it's kind of a nostalgia to to the 90s classic action movies. Like, you got your explosions, you got all these action stars from back in the day. It's just amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't aged pretty for some of them, but it's fun.
It's still badass.
It's not
though.
for looks, it's for entertainment. So we'll go with
for the manly man.
the manliest of men. I'm gonna whoop your ass. See, it's not Rocky. I can't do it. Anyway, we're gonna end this episode. Thank you for joining us here at Cancer and Capricorn Podcast. I'm glad
homie.
I'm glad you finally know how we got our names and how Rocky is one of the best movies of all time. Like, oh my god. So we'll catch you on the flip side. And anything you want to say to our listeners?
No, I just want to say it's awesome. Like, getting to talk about these things. It's pretty cool.
If I can podcast, you can podcast too.
Anyone can podcast.
You're a bum.
This is the end.
You're a bum.